Welcome back, everybody, to hashtag AskBRP. This is episode number 10. I'm Seth, and let's get started. This week, I'm going to go over some questions submitted by you guys. The first question I'm going to go over is, how long does it take to do a pawn loan? Next is, who is responsible for knowing the dates when the loan is due? Third, if the loan is past due, is it our responsibility to call the customer or email them to let them know? And finally, can you pawn a gun? But before I get into those, let's go over last week quickly. So last week I went over what happens when someone is behind on a loan. There's specific deadlines, of course, when a loan is due, but extensions can be granted. I explain what kind of scenarios would lead to an extension and how much leeway we have, how long we can actually extend a loan. If you want to see that or any other episodes that I've done, just search hashtag AskBRP on YouTube, or you can go to our website, bocaratonpawn.com/askbrp. So let's get started with this week. The first question is, how long does it take to do a pawn loan? A pawn loan actually doesn't take very long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes to complete. This is because most of the items that come in we are fairly familiar with, and we can figure out the value within a matter of minutes. And from there, it's really just figuring out if I can actually lend the customer the amount that they need. And once we agree on the terms, all I have to do is write it up in the computer, get a signature and a fingerprint, and hand out the cash. It's not like going to a bank and you wait days, weeks, maybe even months before you get the loan. When you come in here, you get the loan right away, almost immediately. The second question is, who is responsible for knowing the due dates on the loan? Well, both parties are responsible, both us and the client, but ultimately it's up to the client to remember when the loan is due. Like with any business transaction, it's better to be more prepared than not prepared. The last thing you'd want as a client is to lose your items because you didn't realize when the due date was, which actually leads me right into the next question. The third question is, if a loan is past due, is the pawn shop, are we responsible for reaching out to the client to notify them that it's past due? The short answer is no. We do not have to reach out to the client to warn them that their loan is overdue and can be defaulted. However, if you want to be a good pawn shop with a good reputation in the community, you try to get in touch with the client as much as you can. You can try to call them, email them, even sometimes send them a letter, because it's a win-win for both of you if you do get in touch with them. A win for you because they'll pay, and a win for them because they'll appreciate the effort you went to get in touch with them so that they didn't lose their items. And finally, the last question is, can you pawn a gun? The answer is yes, but pawn shops have to have a special firearms dealer's license in order to accept guns, to sell guns. And if you do pawn a gun, it's interesting because when you come to redeem it, you have to do a background check. So if you decide to pawn the gun, you better make sure you're not a criminal, or else you won't be able to get it back. Just kidding. So that's it for episode 10. Thank you for the questions, and remember to follow me on Twitter/Instagram at Boca Raton Pawn, and also on Facebook, facebook.com/Boca Pawn Shop. And if you want to see all of the episodes, bocaratonpawn.com/askbrp. And we will see you next week.